Get the second half underway, and Moussa Dembele in search of the hat-trick that would take that match ball home, and he has got the second half going. Celtic shooting from right to left, the floodlights shining over the Celtic Park pitch, and the stadium looks in absolutely perfect condition, and Celtic will be looking to add to the 3 goals they scored in the first half, and they know they face another challenge next Wednesday night. Rosenborg will be the visitors here, and the following week we will head to Trondheim. A tough game as Callum McGregor wins that challenge against the Alashkert substitute and immediately finds his captain. And really, on the evidence of the first half, Mark, you could only see more goals for Brendan Rodgers' side. Yeah,
I think you know, as the game goes on and becomes a bit more stretched as well, you know, Alashkert might tire. You would expect more spaces to open up for Celtic to exploit. We did see that over in Armenia, and hopefully we'll see the same again as the hoops come forward. And it's Kieran Tierney combining with Odsonne-Edouard, nudges it back to the Frenchman. He's almost at the touchline. There's 3 players round him. Dicks it across at the edge of the 6-yard box. It's cleared only as far as Tierney, and he volleys in. It's tipped over the bar. Well, he took a touch, and the number 63 smashed it towards goal, and a good save in the end from Kincarevic to deny Kieran Tierney. Yeah, wonderful technique. The ball just dropped invitingly for him. Just took a touch, hit it on the half volley, and it looked like it was arcing under the bar until a good last gasp save from the goalkeeper. Tierney just joking there with Scott Brown. I don't think Kieran Tierney scores anything other than spectacular goals. Remember, he scored goal of the season last year here against Kilmarnock in the League Cup. Almost a wonderful goal in European competition. But Celtic with the first corner of the second half inside the first 2 minutes. Callum McGregor near post, it's headed on by Christopher Ayer, knocked to the edge of the area. So Alashkert so close to conceding another goal as Scott Brown just wins the ball back, gives it to McGregor on this right hand side onto his favoured left foot. Goes for the 1-2 with Odsonne-Edouard. He's playing such good link-up play tonight, Odsonne-Edouard. Yeah, he deserves a lot of credit for that earlier chance for Kieran as well. Great driving play, great close control, and then a lovely dinked ball into the middle that fell favourably for Kieran at the edge of the box. So, you know, he's shown his full complement of talents tonight, Paul. You know, he's got that wonderful a touch for such a big man. He's got physical strength, and he can finish as well. So it just shows why Brendan Rodgers was so keen to bring him to the club on a permanent basis in the summer. Here comes Celtic again, and it's Kieran Tierney, this time combining with Incham on this left touchline again. Olivier Incham, he's got 2 men round him. Tierney makes the run, flicks towards Kieran Tierney. A wonderful ball from Incham, played along the 6-yard box and smothered it in the near post from the goalkeeper. But Kieran Tierney is causing chaos down this left-hand side, combining with Edouard and Incham. A wonderful ball from Olivier Incham, but it was the run of Kieran Tierney that gave him that option. Yeah, excellent work rate, you know, and good patience from Olivier Incham initially, and then Kieran, you know, showing that willingness to get forward and create the space, and did well to dig out a cross on the byline that was just smothered by Kincarevic at the near post. Well, Celtic already in these early stages looks as if they've stepped up a gear and look intent on scoring more goals, and a foul there, just a petulant swipe at Moussa Dembele there by Voskanian, and the Armenian defender penalised as Dembele clips it through. He was looking for the run of Odsonne-Edouard, trying to take the Alashkert defence by surprise. The ball switched across towards the left hand side for the visitors. Jefferson Reis brings that ball down, moves into the middle of the park. He's got the option of Dashayan on this right hand side, finds the number 9 who takes a touch up against Kieran Tierney, delivers it into the box, and it's just missed there. It looked as if it was Sekulic that was racing in, couldn't get a touch on it, and thankfully the ball goes behind for a goal kick. Yeah, it was Dashayan who looked the most threatening player in the first leg. Down in Armenia, he had some purposeful runs in the first half in the Republican Stadium that didn't amount to anything, but he did show a bit of ambition, a bit of enterprise, and that's his first sort of real involvement in the game in a meaningful attacking sense tonight. It was a lovely ball across goal. Thankfully Alashkert couldn't profit. The visitors knocked the ball forward, but Scott Brown read it well and gives it to McGregor. Now to Tierney down this left touchline. He tries to feed Odsonne-Edouard. He tried to spin round Voskanian, but the right back read it, and it's Alashkert in the centre circle. Start to move forward again. Manasayan takes the shot there and harmlessly wide, and Craig Gordon not troubled so far, and I think he would be really annoyed if he was to concede a goal against Alashkert tonight. Yeah, I don't, and especially annoyed if he was to concede a goal from that distance. Another speculative, very ambitious effort there from Alashkert. and you know, that they really need to show a bit more patience and possession if they're going to get close to goal and cause Craig Gordon problems. As a tackle comes in on Odsonne Edouard on the touchline, it's always going to be difficult to beat Craig Gordon from there, especially when you don't hit a shot with conviction like that.
Kieran Tierney in possession. Gives it to Odsonne Edouard again, knocks it inside to McGregor. McGregor holds off his man. It's very tight there, but Celtic players so comfortable on the ball. Back now with Christopher Ayer, he's got some space to give it into the centre circle. Hendry works it on to James Forrest, almost a right back roll, back to Jack Hendry, who moved into that central defensive position with the sending off for Jozo Simonovic after just 10 minutes. But Celtic comfortable in possession, in control of this tie. And after tonight, we'll start preparing for the visit of Rosenborg. But here they come again. Odsonne Edouard clips it through, looking for Moussa Dembele. And intercepted. Ball played forward to Reis, but poor first touch. And Kieran Tierney takes up possession. Certainly Moussa Dembele will be desperate for the opportunity to try and net his hat-trick. Yeah,
I think he's just got to be patient, Paul. The chances will come. Celtic still looking the more likely side to carve out further opportunities, judging by the early minutes of this second half as they come forward again.
It's Moussa Dembele, 25 yards from goal, holds off his man. Now every outfield player in the Alashkert half. Kieran Tierney tries to find Moussa Dembele, it's intercepted. The visitors forced to play the ball back. Callum McGregor working so hard, closes down the play. Alashkert in possession, but not really going anywhere at the moment. The ball just in their own half in front of the Celtic technical area. Gary Garrett attack, the younger of the two brothers. He plays it back to the edge of his own area. Well, every Celtic player behind the ball, and they're working so hard, and certainly this time of the season there's always this talk about game time and more minutes under your belt, and it's certainly a really good workout for the Celtic players given the fact that we are a man down.
Definitely, and you know, you wonder if it might factor into, you know, how Brendan Rodgers reviews what kind of changes he's going to make in the second half. Paul, you know, he has spoke before about the likes of Moussa Dembele, Odsonne Edouard, both players that suffered hamstring injuries last season. He is always keen and always wary about protecting them and not wanting them to pick up, you know, similar types of muscular injuries. So, you know, they could be coming into his thinking in terms of maybe changes to make in the second half, and I think that's why Moussa will be so keen to get a chance early to try and claim that hat-trick.
Almost 8 minutes on the clock in this second half, and Celtic have been the dominant side not only in those 8 minutes but throughout the game so far. They're leading by 3 goals to nil. Kieran Tierney coming close with a shot early in the second half. Christopher Ayer read that one well. But still Alashkert come again. Well, the ball played through, it certainly looked offside, but a good brave challenge there on Manasai, and from Craig Gordon smothered that one, and I'd like to see that again. It was a good thread the ball through, but I thought the number 7 had just inched offside.
Yeah, he looked offside from our angle, Paul. Linesman kept his flag down though, and Craig Gordon reacted well, out quickly to smother the ball and deny Alashkert an opportunity to score a consolation.
Kieran Tierney in possession. Christopher Ayer offers himself as an option, 25 yards from goal, works it across to Jack Hendry, and again Celtic just start to pass their way forward. Scott Brown moves into the middle of the park, takes up the possession, clips it forward, and suddenly Celtic on the attack, and it's Olivier Incham has found himself on this right wing. James Forrest again offers himself as support. Incham tries to knock it across, it's blocked, but Celtic have their second corner of the second half.
Yeah, and there'll be a chance to bring the big men forward from defence. Christopher Ayer and Jack Hendry moving forward into the penalty box, and we have caused problems from set pieces already tonight and in the first leg over in Armenia, and hopefully this can be another route for profit for Celtic.
Once more, Callum McGregor is the man on set piece duties. It will be an in-swinger with his left foot, a crowded penalty area, plenty of targets for McGregor to aim for. Steps forward, curls it near post, spins back to the edge of the area, and it's headed clear up towards the halfway line. Kieran Tierney will be the first to get there, knocks it out to the left hand side where Incham forward towards Odsonne Edouard, and he's challenged there. Late challenge, certainly at the very least it should be a yellow card, and again I just feel that Sekulic has stayed down because he knows it was a reckless challenge on Odsonne Edouard. Yeah, it was a... Yep, again, you know, it's a dangerous one. He's coming in from behind, his feet are raised. That should be an automatic yellow card if the referee is going by the strict rule book. And he's let that one go. Well, he's standing there just now while Sekulic gets to his feet. It'll be interesting if he does brandish the yellow card. He doesn't look like he's going to produce it.
and Sekulic extremely fortunate to get away with that there, because you know that was a reckless one. You're coming in from behind. It's those types of challenges that they're wanting to cut down on, but the yellow card not forthcoming. Celtic only have a free kick as reward.
10 minutes on the clock, and Odsonne Edouard, thankfully on his feet, makes his way back into the penalty area. Olivier Incham will deliver this set piece into the Alashkert penalty area. Celtic looking for their 4th goal on the night. The referee has words. I'm not sure if it was with one of the Alashkert defenders. He's standing on the edge of the penalty area. Odsonne Edouard delivers this one to the far post. There's no one there. It sails harmlessly wide for a goal kick. So Celtic leading 6-0 on the night. And I'm sure it's usually round about there, Mark, that Brendan Rodgers starts to make some changes. The substitutes are all out warming up just now. There's 3 of them out behind the goal to our left, so it may be that it's an indication that maybe some changes afoot.
Yeah, plenty of options as well for the manager, Paul. You know, you've got Scott Sinclair, Ryan Christie and Mikey Johnson in that kind of forward department, and you've got Scott Allen, Bowie Kouassi, who can slot in the midfield, and Anthony Ralston can come in and operate it right back too. So you know the manager has options in every department of the team, and you would expect him to make some alterations as the match goes on.
Well, I think the number 7 could well be yellow carded. Yeah, I think Miran Manasayan, the substitute on at half time, he made a good run and he made an even better dive, and he has been yellow carded for his troubles, and I don't think he looks a picture of innocence there, but I think he can have no complaints because it was rather embarrassing.
It was, well, and the new LCD lights at Celtic Park shone a bright light there, didn't let him get away with that one at all, and it was a rather embarrassing piece of theatrics there from the substitute, and deservedly booked for that.
Scott Brown moves forward, gives it to Olivier Incham. Back now to Kieran Tierney. Alashkert certainly committing plenty of men forward, but as a result is leaving spaces for Celtic when they do pass their way out from the back. Callum McGregor, edge of the centre circle, threads it through towards Odsonne Edouard, nudges it out wide to Moussa Dembele. Here comes Celtic again. Tierney in front of Dembele. Dembele to Tierney, goes for the 1-2. Kieran Tierney flicks inside towards the Frenchman. It's intercepted. Alashkert managed to work the way out of danger, but Kieran Tierney almost managed to nudge it across to Callum McGregor. I think the Celtic players were looking for a free kick. I'm not really sure what the infringement is, but another substitution is afoot for the visitors, and it will be Simonian who is going to come on. But Celtic still battling hard for the ball. They're out of possession at the moment, down the right hand side for Alashkert. But really a team devoid of ideas, and they've lost the ball again, and it's Odsonne Edouard. Callum McGregor under pressure, but again shows great coolness. And Celtic forward now with Edouard. He shrugs off one challenge, shrugs off 2. Still Odsonne Edouard, edge of the box. Well, they're desperately trying to foul him. He finds Callum McGregor. James Forrest, right hand side, edge of the box. Appreciative applause there from the Celtic fans. And Odsonne Edouard, they were trying everything to bring him down, but he just refused to go down. Yeah,
one-man wrecking ball, just driving right through the heart of the Alashkert defence. No one could stop him there. Just such power and great control from Odsonne Edouard, and so unfortunate at the end he just couldn't fashion room to pull the trigger and get a shot and goal. A wonderful play again, and he's having another outstanding performance tonight.
Almost at the hour mark, and Moussa Dembele with 2 goals, James Forrest with 1, all in the first half. Celtic leading by 3-0 on the night, 6-0 on aggregate. Remember, next Wednesday night Rosenborg will be the visitors to Celtic Park. Moussa Dembele tries to keep control, and then we have the away leg in Norway before our opening flag day here, August the 4th, 3 o'clock kickoff. Livingston the visitors, managed by former Celtic striker Kenny Miller. As James Forrest on the halfway line, and Scott Brown picks up the loose ball. I think he did play for 1 or 2 other clubs in Scotland, to be fair, Mark.
Yes, and but it's a great way to start flag day, well, against the newly promoted side from the Championship. A wonderful campaign last year from the team from West Lothian to come up, and you know, not many expected them to manage to challenge at all in the Championship, but they produced a wonderful run of form in the second half of the season in particular to claim that second spot. And they deserve all the credit for that. Obviously changed managers in the summer, as you mentioned, but it'll be a great occasion.
Wonderful skill again from Odsonne Edouard, and this time the sliding challenge brought that run to an end, but he has started the season on fire, and he would clearly like a goal tonight for his efforts as he makes his way back into the centre of the park. And it looks as if it could be a double change at the moment. Certainly Brendan Rodgers is in conversation with Scott Sinclair at the edge of the technical area. Mikey Johnson looks as if he might be introduced to the action, though he could be getting sent out just to warm up just now. So the manager with plenty of options as we just pass the hour mark. And Kieran Tierney gives that one to Olivier Incham. He's under pressure but shows good strength again. The Frenchman tries to flick it down the line, but Alashkert intercept. Ball on the edge of the Celtic penalty area. But once more Scott Brown just dispossesses Manasayan effortlessly. Celtic possession lost down the left hand side for Alashkert, and everyone bar Moussa Dembele back behind the ball. So Scott Sinclair will be the first change for Celtic, but at the moment the home side still defending as the ball's curled to the far post, and it's James Forrest heads out over on the far side. Alashkert will keep this one in play, but Celtic doing well to defend. It's on the penalty spot, Christopher Ayer blocks the shot. It was a poor first touch there, I think, by Dashian, and Celtic start to pass their way out of trouble. Good challenge there from Christopher Ayer. The ball coming back very quickly. Brendan Rodgers just stands waiting for that break in play with Scott Sinclair. Who would you expect Scott Sinclair to replace, Mark?
Well, just with Celtic been down to 10 men, Paul, you'd expect it to be one of the strikers. You know, Odsonne Edouard has been playing in a more auxiliary in a left midfield role when Celtic aren't in possession. He's pushed forward to support Moussa Dembele when Celtic have been on the ball, so you maybe expect Odsonne or Moussa to come off, but the ball's still in play.
Here comes Celtic again, nudged out way to the left hand side, and it's Odsonne Edouard with Incham ahead of him. Again he just glides through, Incham into the box, side foots it. His goal was saved by the feet of Karen Sarovic at the expense of a corner, and I think Odsonne Edouard was looking for the cutback, but instead Celtic have the corner.
Yeah, still waiting to see who's going to come on there. I think Celtic may wait until this corner kick has been taken before making the switch. Simonian as well, still waiting to come on here. I think he's been there for about 5 or 6 minutes on the touchline for Alashkert as well, and both teams waiting to make that change, but I think the corner will come in first.
Celtic's 8th corner of the game, the 3rd of the second half, and once more it's Callum McGregor. It's going to be an outswinger. Tierney and Brown back at the halfway line, everyone else forward looking for a Celtic head on the end of this outswinger. The left foot of Callum McGregor steps forward, fires it near post. Christopher Ayer knocks it out, but it's hooked clear by Dashian. Kieran Tierney the first to react and heads it back out to Callum McGregor. Good play from Tierney, goes for the return, offers that option to McGregor, and he's challenged there, and a poor challenge, and Christopher Ayer not happy with the challenge from Artak Yedigarian. And again the referee certainly very lenient in this second half, and we are going to see these changes now. So I think the first one is going to be for Alashkert, so it's going to be Danilo Sekulic, one of several Serbians in their team, and he's going to be replaced by Artem Simonian. And we shall see shortly who Scott Sinclair will come on for. So Celtic about to make their first change, and we haven't seen the board up yet. I'm not sure if Celtic will wait till after the free kick. Scott Brown and Kieran Tierney over at the sidelines. In fact, it's going to be Odsonne Edouard. A fine performance from the young Frenchman. He didn't get a goal, but he has certainly been too hot to handle for Alashkert tonight.
Yeah, he's been wonderful. Whether playing on that left-hand side, through the middle, you know, he's caused Alashkert so many problems throughout the evening. His direct running, his power, his physicality, his great touch, and he deserves that standing ovation as he leaves the field. And it's just exciting to think he's going to be at Celtic for the next 4 years, Paul. You know, still a young player, so much potential, and it's great to see him in such wonderful form early in the season.
Well, Moussa Dembele has gone down, which is always a slight concern. The physio is on treating Moussa Dembele, and certainly with so many important games coming up, it's the last thing you want to see, Mark, is a key player like Moussa Dembele, who's started the game so well. And we are going to get another change Celtic when they make a second change, so certainly hopefully just as a precaution for Moussa Dembele to come off, because he has really been so impressive since the start of the season.
Yeah, he's been excellent, you know, particularly working in tandem with Odsonne Edouard. It looks like Ryan Christie will just enter the fray. Hopefully it's just a precaution, as you say, Paul, and you know, if Moussa does feel anything, it's right to get him off at this stage. You know, Celtic have completed the job already tonight, 3-0 up.
And 2 goals, hero and a standing ovation. He's not going to get his hat-trick, but he certainly deserves that standing ovation. He's another player who has really ran Alashkert ragged, and Ryan Christie will replace him.
Yep, Ryan Christie will come on, plenty to prove for Ryan as he tries to stake a claim in the Celtic first team this season, having enjoyed an excellent season on loan at Aberdeen, and he'll come on and hopefully he can make an impact.
Celtic will now take this free kick. Champ plays it forward. Wasn't the best delivery, but Alashkert certainly very generous in giving the ball immediately back to Celtic, and it's Scott Brown works it across to the left hand side to Kieran Tierney. Celtic defenders start to make their way back into position. Scott Sinclair on the left hand side, and Ryan Christie through the middle. His first challenge, the ball breaks 25 yards from goal. It's Alashkert back with their goalkeeper. 21 minutes of the second half gone, so Celtic, 2 of the Frenchmen are off now, Odsonne Edouard and Moussa Dembele. Scott Sinclair and Ryan Christie on, so Christie through the middle, Scott Sinclair on the left, and certainly still a lot of pace in that Celtic team, with Scott Sinclair in particular. Yeah,
and I mean, Scott Sinclair obviously joint top scorer for Celtic last season. You know, he started the pre-season very well too. Managers highlighted his performances, so you know, and he'll be disappointed, Scott, not to be in the starting 11 in a big game like tonight, and he'll be looking to force his way back into the reckoning as well. So you know, hopefully he can make an impact in the closing part of this game.
Craig Gordon in possession, across now to Christopher Ajer. Starts to make his way forward. We've seen him doing those surging runs where he just glides past several players, and he's done it again. Christie stayed onside. Well, the goalkeeper, you have to say, read that very well. He sliced his clearance up towards the halfway line, but commanding play there from Christopher Ajer in an attacking sense.
Yeah, it's such a major weapon now for Celtic, Paul. As another
one again, James Forrest in the edge of the area, clips it goalwards. Well, so close, but in the end Kansarevic denied James Forrest what would have been a wonderful individual effort.
Yeah, Scott Sinclair a little bit aggrieved there not to get the pass at the end of the move, but I don't think you can blame James for taking the shot on after such a wonderful run. Just weaving in from that right hand side, gliding past opponents, eventually got the shot away, just couldn't get enough purchase behind it, and the keeper saved.
Ryan Christie, edge of the box, and Champ into the area. It's played back to McGregor on his left foot. Callum McGregor glides into the box, still Callum McGregor, right footed, trying to pass it under Kansarevic, and again the Serbian goalkeeper, he is coming to his side's rescue to keep the scoreline down, because it's only him that's standing between Celtic and further goals.
Yeah, lovely footwork from Callum McGregor, just gliding past opponents there. Lovely change of pace as we see that run from James Forrest earlier. Just, he has been outstanding tonight. He's playing it right back, but he's still getting forward and going in those marauding runs into the box. Unfortunate with that final effort, but great play from Callum as well there. Unfortunate, a good save from the goalkeeper, denies him.
Well, Celtic really just have stepped up a gear again and seem to be waltzing through the Alashkert defence. Well, here comes James Forrest. Forrest again, past 2 challenges. Edge of the box, James Forrest, and edge of the D. This time he does find Scott Sinclair on that left hand side. Forrest back in possession again, onto his favoured right foot. Forrest and Sinclair combining now. Kieran Tierney moves into attack. Well, Celtic are just quicker in speed of thought and in movement, and every Alashkert player behind the ball, remember they have a one-man advantage, but they are losing by 3-0 on the night. All those goals came in the first half, but Celtic rather unlucky not to have added to their goal tally. And once again Scott Brown just shrugs off the challenge. The attention of Reis. He's fouled by 2 players. I think it was just petulance there by Yedigarian, the Alashkert captain. And here comes Celtic again down the right hand side. Callum McGregor, he's got James Forrest out wide on the right. Well, again, Celtic, there's been no let up really in this game.
Yeah, what's really impressed me is the intensity of Celtic's play. You know, it could be easy to settle, lower the pace a little. Celtic have got this tie done and dusted, 3-0 up, and here they come again.
And Champ on this left touchline, there's 2 men round him. Gives it to Sinclair. Sinclair into the box. He's got Tierney ahead of him. curls it just over well. You saw what he was trying to do. He was trying to find that top left-hand corner, but he couldn't keep the ball down. But good play from Sinclair, good play from Incham, but it's a goal kick to Alashkert. We have about 20 minutes of the match remaining. Celtic leading on the night with 3-0.
Yeah, the chances are now coming thick and fast for the 10 men of Celtic, Paul. Alashkert look like they're tiring a bit physically and mentally. You know, it's been difficult for them tonight playing against this Celtic team who've been playing full of ferocity and intensity despite the man disadvantage, and hopefully we can get a couple of more goals that in the hoops can finish with a flourish.
Alashkert with a throw in about 10 yards from the Celtic goal line down the right hand side, keen to take it quickly, but again Celtic back into defensive formation. Ball curled into the box but safely into the arms of Craig Gordon, who immediately releases James Forrest on the right hand side, and Celtic come again. Scott Brown's an option, instead he chooses to play it to Jack Hendry, and this time does nudge it forward to his captain on the halfway line. Well, Celtic get the break of the ball, and Ryan Christie slides it back to Forrest. Christie back again to Callum McGregor. Alashkert are a beaten side, and you can just tell the way that they're playing that they absolutely know it. I think they can't wait to get back on this plane to Armenia.
Yeah, as I say, you know, despite Celtic going down to 10 men, you know, the Hoops have been dominant in possession. They've moved the ball around well, and just physically, you know, Celtic looked too much for Alashkert, and you know, it looked like in the first leg, and it's looked like that even more this evening. And Brendan Rodgers will be delighted to see his team playing with such rhythm, such fluency, but also in such great physical shape so early in the campaign. And
I think the way, particularly, you know, the game's gone from that 10th minute on, you have to keep reminding yourself that we have lost a man. We're down to 10 men after Yozo being sent off, because certainly at times it looks as if Celtic have got more players on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, Celtic were always going to be firm favourites going into this tie, Paul. Celtic were expected to do a professional job and progress against Alashkert, but you know, you still have to go out and do it. And European opponents, you know, we've seen it over the years. These ties can be really tricky, particularly when you're coming back from pre-season. But Celtic look like they've, you know, hit the ground running already, and that augurs well for the rest of the European campaign. Particularly with such a tough game coming up against Rosenborg. So I think the manager will be really, really pleased with how things are progressing so far this season, and he'll take a lot more from this performance as well. Jack
Hendry suddenly finds the space opening up for him, just nudges it through the middle towards Olivier Incham, out wide to Kieran Tierney, edge of the box. Remember, he had that wonderful shot. Now Christie, edge of the D, gives it to McGregor. McGregor flicks it forward looking for Christie. The goalkeeper comes out, punches it there less than convincingly, but he does manage to do his job. Celtic still haven't cleared it. Kieran Tierney knocks it back across looking for Ryan Christie, and again the goalkeeper, who almost put his side into trouble, comes to his side's rescue. Alashkert knocked the ball out of play, and it's a throw into Celtic just in front of Brendan Rodgers' technical area, and we are going to see the third and final change of the night. And I think we'll just have to check who it is. It looks as if it could be Mikey Johnson. So the manager spoke very highly of him. He was very impressive against Standard Liège in the second half, scored that wonderful goal, and he's going to get a chance, his first European appearance for Celtic.
Yeah, a magnificent moment for Mikey, and well deserved on the back of some terrific performances in pre-season out in Austria and against Standard Liège most recently at the weekend. And he's a very exciting talent, and hopefully he can show that this evening.
Alashkert on the ball down the right hand side. Kieran Tierney tries to block that pass inside, and again Celtic just crowding out Alashkert, and it's Scott Sinclair drives it forward. Wonderful skill from the Englishman, plays it through to Christie through on goal into the area on his left foot. It's a shot, it's palm clear. McGregor colours up, well, follows up there, and the ball on the edge of the centre circle breaks for Alashkert. So close to a fourth goal for Celtic.
Yeah, it took another wonderful stop from Kancerovic to deny Celtic, and really, if it hadn't been for the efforts of the Alashkert goalkeeper, you know, we would be looking at 5-6 or 7-0. Despite Celtic being down to 10 men, and in any measure, that's a wonderful performance, and hopefully the Hoops can get the goals that their performance deserves, as Ryan Christie is dumped to the ground.
I mean, surely that's got to be a yellow card, Lady Gary. Well, the referee's gone back to book. I'm not sure who he's booking. It looks as if he's going to book Christopher Ayer, but surely the number 17 there for that challenge on Ryan Christie deserved a yellow card.
Well, the referee, if he doesn't book the Alashkert player there, it's absolutely bemusing. Because that was a disgraceful tackle. We're seeing a replay of it there now. I mean, I'm flabbergasted watching this, because there's been so many occasions where...
So the Alashkert goalkeeper now is down, he's receiving treatment.
I'm staggered to see that the referee's not brandished the yellow card there as well for the Alashkert player, because so many times we've seen that tonight. I actually thought he'd left his cards in his pocket at half-time, because there's been a number of occasions where he could have booked an Alashkert player in the second half, and that was another one. It's a clear yellow card, and then it's more galling when you see him going booking Christopher Raya.
Well, I can tell you that James Forrest will be the third and final Celtic replaced, and Mikey Johnson will come on for his European debut, and another fine performance from James Forrest, no more so when he scored that third goal. A wonderful finish from a wonderful player.
Yep, and we talked about James's quality, Paul. You know, going forward, we all know he's got that electric pace. He can dribble past players, but tonight he's showing that work ethic as well. You know, he's been having to play it right back when Celtic don't have the ball. He's had to show that defensive diligence and discipline, and he's worked up and down that right hand side to magnificent effect.
Mikey Johnson gets his first touch, tried to knock it through towards Ryan Christie, so he's going to take up a place on the left hand side. Sinclair, I think, through the middle, with Christie just playing off him, and Callum McGregor is now taking up a position on the right hand side, so plenty of options, and Mikey Johnson will certainly be keen to make an impression in this last 15 minutes or so. And Celtic will be looking to add to their 3 goals that they scored in the first half.
Yep, and hopefully we get it. You know, certainly Celtic deserve it. It's another soft free kick to raise the ire of the Celtic crowd.
Well, I did mention in the first half that I wouldn't like to see the standard of, if this is the standard of Romanian refereeing, you have to say it must be utterly appalling, because the referee he's made a nothing game. It's real problems with some strange decisions.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a replay of Christopher Ayer's booking as well. That looked extremely soft, and for him to have let so many fouls go away for Alashkert against Celtic, and not produce a yellow card, for him to book Christopher Ayer for that is baffling. And that was another soft decision there. I think the Alashkert players just looking for a bit of a breather as they try to come to terms with the intensity and ferocity of Celtic's play tonight. But yeah, it's been a really frustrating evening from that aspect. The referee has not been extremely inconsistent in his decision making, and obviously we had that controversial red card for Jozo in the first half.
So another Alashkert player down receiving treatment. I think they're only just prolonging their agony, because it might just add to the extra minutes that the Romanian referee adds on at the end of the game. And Celtic with about 12 minutes to go, plus added time, leading 3-0 on the night, 6-0 in aggregate, to set up a second round qualifier against Rosenborg of Norway. The Norwegians got through with a injury time penalty to knock out Valur of Iceland. So next week Rosenborg will be the visitors. Remember, they secured a goalless draw here last season in the competition, and James Forrest scored the all-important goal in Trondheim to put Celtic a step closer to the group stages. Scott Brown knocks it forward, leaves out Ryan Christie, finds Incham, and again another late challenge there, and it was a double challenge. And I think Alashkert now, I think every time they foul they go down, because they want to try and avoid the ref. I was like you, I thought the referee had forgotten his cards, but he certainly isn't punishing Alashkert at all for any challenges.
Well, that's another clear foul on Olivier Incham. 2 players, first one it's a late tackle, then he gets obstructed by the next player, and Brendan Rodgers, no wonder he's on the touchline, and wondering what is going on there. And Scott Brown, I think, as well, has had a few words with the referee, because so many times Celtic have been fouled in the second half and he's not punished Alashkert players whatsoever. And
again, it's that Artak Yedigari, the number 17, who certainly escaped any punishment from the referee, and I'm not convinced at all that there's anything wrong with him, other than the fact that he's just been smart enough to realise to avoid any potential punishment.
Well, he's seen it so far from his colleagues that if they seem to go down, they don't get punished. We saw it right at the start of the game in the lead up to Moussa Dembele's goal. It was a dreadful tackle on Moussa Dembele. Thankfully Moussa was okay, he got up and scored the goal, but Yedigarian stayed in the ground. He wasn't punished at all from the referee, and it looks like from that Alashkert have just continued in that same vein, making challenges, going down from the foul, and they've escaped further censure.
I suppose that's the concern with about 10 minutes to go. You don't want, given the fact we've got a vital game against Rosenborg next week, you don't want any players to pick up any injuries. We saw Moussa Dembele going off. We'll find out what happened. Hope it's just a precaution, but you know, we want our strongest team available against the Norwegians.
Certainly, and that's the worry. You know, it's keeping your discipline as well, because this will be frustrating for the players on the pitch as much as it is for us watching here. That, you know, the Alashkert players seem to be getting a free rein to make dangerous tackles in this match, and they're not been punished for it. And the players just have to know that the job is done. It's been frustrating, of course, but we've got, you know, around 10 minutes left of this game. We just need to see it out, then we can plan and prepare for the Rosenborg match.
Into the last 10 minutes of this game here at Celtic Park. Once again, the pitch looks in perfect condition. The floodlights, the new floodlights shining down on Paradise, and the Celtic fans here, and I'm sure who are watching on Celtic TV, have enjoyed what they've seen tonight from Brendan Rodgers' side. All those goals coming in the first half, 2 from Moussa Dembele, including 1 from the penalty spot, and James Forrest, although both the goal scorers off now, as is Odsonne Edouard, who had another impressive game. Celtic, the 10 men of Celtic since the 10th minute when Josef Simonovic was sent off, have dominated, and Alashkert just looking to try and work an opening to perhaps get a consolation to take back to Armenia with them, but they haven't really tested Craig Gordon at all. And into these last 10 minutes, the Celtic goalkeeper will be desperate to avoid conceding a late goal, and certainly the Alashkert goalkeeper has ensured that Celtic haven't added to their tally in the second half with several fine saves to deny Celtic. Alashkert in possession at the moment, so a free weekend for Celtic. I'm sure they will be training over the weekend, Mark, just now knowing their opponents, as the ball played just a yard or so over the bar. Craig Gordon happy to see that one behind, and familiarity not so much breeds contempt, but Celtic will be very familiar with the opposition, and that may prove advantageous because we know how dangerous Rosenborg can be.
Yeah, and I think we all remember the first leg last season. You know, Rosenborg had a couple of opportunities to score that away goal, and the second leg Celtic were excellent. You know, produced a fantastic performance away from home. I think Eric Spiachenko went off early in that game, injury as well, and Celtic had to readjust, but they coped, and James Forrest got the winner with that spectacular finish. So we know it's going to be a tough game, but hopefully this time we can go to Trondheim with some kind of lead, because we've shown away from home in Europe with that pace we have, James Forrest, Moussa Dembele, Odsonne Edouard, that we can cause problems on the road.
Alashkert, a poor shot from Messiaen. He was booked for the dive inside the area. Easy one for Craig Gordon to gather. So Celtic, another impressive European showing. I think we'll get 4 qualifiers this season in order to try and get into the group stages for the 3rd year in a row, but so far so good. First hurdles safely overcome. Can Celtic get another goal before the end? The Celtic fans have been in fine voice. Kieran Tierney an option for Craig Gordon. He's had a very impressive game again, denied by a good save by Kansarevic early in the second half. But he has caused Alashkert problems down the Celtic left all night, Kieran Tierney, and just relentless running up and down the park.
Yeah, I think Kieran and James Forrest, when he was on the pitch for most of this match, deserve a lot of credit. You know, when Celtic went a little bit narrower when they went down to 10 men, so a lot of onus on Kieran and James to provide that width defensively and offensively, and they've done a fantastic job. So fantastic work ethic from both players.
Alashkert again on the edge of the area, the ball played forward, clipped back towards the penalty spot, just misses the head of Callum McGregor. The visitors trying to get an opening for a shot, but again good defensive play by Ryan Christie, and again a foul by an Alashkert player, and once more rolling about. I'm not sure where. Do you think maybe it's the new hybrid pitch, they just like lying on it?
Well, I mean, it is incredible. I mean, Scott Brown, I think, again having words with the referee, because this is so frustrating to watch. I mean, play has been punctuated so many times in the second half because Alashkert players keep going down after they foul a Celtic player, and it just slows the pace of the game down as well, which makes it more difficult for Celtic, and frustrating, but Celtic doing a professional job nonetheless.
Cesar Romero is about to come on as the 3rd change for Alashkert, but it's the home side with Mikey Johnson. Shrugs off 2 challenges, gives it to Incham, who wins a throw-in, and it will be the last change for the visitors. So Cesar Romero to take this one, and in fact it will be an Alashkert throw in. Well, the fourth official is still waiting for the piece of paper that tells him which player is going to be coming off, with the number 19 waiting in the technical area. But they have a throw in midway inside their own half, down the right in front of the main stand. And the game slowly edging towards the end as Callum McGregor intercepts that ball and drives forward into the last 5 minutes. McGregor skips past a lunging challenge. Still McGregor onto his left foot, back heels it. Christie tries to curl it into the box, but it's blocked. And Callum McGregor fouls Alashkert player on the edge of the area, and it will be another substitution. And interestingly, the referee has a word with Callum McGregor, but has no, I don't think he's spoken to a single Alashkert player in the second half as Reis goes off and Cesar Romero comes on.
Yeah, half expected the referee to book Callum for that there, because it seems to be any time a Celtic player makes a foul, they're yellow carded. And as you said, the referee did go over and have a word with Callum. Thankfully, no further action forthcoming. But I think there was I think Callum as well was frustrated, because in the build-up to that there was a reckless lunge on him as he came forward. He avoided the challenge, but it was a reckless one nonetheless.
Callum McGregor on the halfway line. Christopher Iyer will work it on to Kieran Tierney. Mikey Johnson's an option on this left touchline. Good first touch from the Celtic youngster, cuts inside onto his right foot, gives it to his captain. Celtic pushing forward, Jack Hendry now offering himself as an option. Callum McGregor, and the ball in the centre circle with Celtic. And Cham just get there ahead of his man, but only succeeds in finding an Alashkert player. And the Armenians on the attack now, committing 4 men forward. Well, they do like a long shot, and I'm guessing they haven't practiced it too much, because their accuracy has been nil.
It's been pretty dreadful, and that was another example of that. I think there's only maybe one shot on target in the first half, and it came from the captain Yedegarian, and otherwise that's certainly been the exception to the rule, and lots of shots over as another late challenge comes in there, which is ignored by the referee. Yeah,
well, that was a poor challenge there by, I think it looked as if it was Gregorian on Kieran Tierney, but Celtic already conceded the foul. So Brendan Rodgers' side leading by 6-0 on aggregate, 3-0 on the night, to add to those 3 goals they scored in Yerevan last week. As Mikey Johnson clips that forward looking for Christie. Christie got his foot tip but couldn't steer it towards Johnson, who did well. Kieran Tierney just volleyed that up over the halfway line, and Sinclair fouled. The referee was play on. We are into the last 2.5 minutes plus added time, probably about 3 minutes to be added on here at Celtic Park. The fourth official just gets his board ready, and Celtic heading into the second qualifying round of the UEFA Champions League, where Rosenborg await for the second consecutive season. It's a very pleasing performance. I'm sure Brendan Rodgers, when we hear from him after the game, is another wayward volley. But you know, I don't like to be scathing, but I think I could have hit the ball with more accuracy, and even you with your chocolate ankles.
Yeah, I'd probably pick up an injury just entering the pitch though. But yeah, another really disappointing effort there, and I think it's just tiredness as well, Paul. As Olivier Ntcham shows a lovely bit of skill.
Wonderful skill from Ntcham. He has been so lively tonight, and absolutely left his marker for dead. And Celtic with a throw in down the left hand side. Kieran Tierney will take this one. Scott Brown is an option in the centre circle. And can Celtic fashion just one last chance for a fourth goal on the night? Certainly still got that hunger to try and create chances. And Ntcham now finds himself on the left touchline. Johnson goes down the line. Celtic youngster on the ball. Certainly doesn't lack for confidence when he gets possession. It's clipped up towards Ryan Christie. Back towards Ntcham, but slightly overhit. And out for a throw in on this near side.
Yeah, Ntcham has shown wonderful energy in this game, Paul, and especially when Celtic have gone down to 10 men. He's been the one breaking forward, getting it up in support of Moussa Dembele and Odsonne Edouard when they're on the pitch, and now Ryan Christie and Scott Sinclair. He's also performed his defensive duties as well, got back and helped out. So he's been an excellent individual performance tonight, and there's been many of them in a Celtic jersey, but if I had to pick out one, it would probably be James Forrest.
Callum McGregor stayed onside, cuts it by, looking for Sinclair. It's almost steered into his own net, but Alashkert at the second attempt managed to clear it. And once again, McGregor. Well, as you say, Mark, there's been so many impressive performances from Celtic and augurs well. And you think, you've mentioned a couple of times, we have to see Diedrich Boyata back, Mikael Lustig back, Tom Rogic is still to come back. You know, there's still key players are going to push these players, but certainly the guys who have started the season are making a strong case for staying in the team with 3 added minutes to go tonight. Yeah,
it's great to see so many players seem to be on song so early in the campaign, and you know, the players look like they've come back re-energised and reinvigorated for the start of the campaign. And you know, having spoken to the players for the view and for the match programmes just in the early weeks of the season, that's the sentiments that they're all saying to me, and I think we're seeing it reflected on the pitch as well from the performances we've seen so far, as you know, out in Armenia against Liège at the weekend and tonight in this match. Celtic look like they're up and running for the new campaign.
Mikey Johnson almost getting past his man, but he's shown great determination there, the young Celtic player. Again, I think he just looks as if when he gets the ball, there's not that nervousness of maybe just making sure he finds a player. He's got the confidence just to take a touch and take a couple of seconds and decide what he's going to do, and more often than not, he's driving towards the opposition. Yeah, I mean, he's someone the manager picked out when I spoke to him for this week's edition of the Celtic View, Paul. He said, you know, Mikey and Stephen Wells, the young defender, and also Ewan Henderson had really performed very well in pre-season and had acquitted themselves well in the games too. And you see that Mikey looks like he's kicked on a bit from last season. I think he's been, you know, working hard. He had a couple of injuries last campaign that were frustrating, but I think, you know, he looks motivated, he looks confident, and I think he's doing a lot of work and things as well in the gym, and that's all coming together, and hopefully can have a really big campaign and break into the Celtic team. Celtic keeping possession as we head towards full time. Callum McGregor in the middle of the park, still driving forward, still McGregor. Couldn't find an opening to thread that through to Johnson, who'd come in off that left touchline. Instead, just happy to keep possession. So good at doing that, Callum McGregor. So comfortable on the ball. And we've gone 2 of the 3 added minutes. Remember, all the goals coming in the first half, 2 from Moussa Dembele, 1 from James Forrest, but Celtic dominant throughout the game and throughout this tie to set up a second qualifying round clash with the Norwegian champions Rosenborg. First leg of that will be next Wednesday night here at Celtic Park. Scott Brown thought about trying to play it through to Sinclair, instead gives it to Christie, back to Scott Brown. Celtic keeping good possession, and Alashkert, I think, just happy just to let the clock count down. We're into the last 30 seconds. Mikey Johnson tried to spin round and give it to Callum McGregor. It's played back to the goalkeeper. He's going to have to clear that one long under pressure from the teenage Celtic player. Christopher wins the header. Another Alashkert player goes down, and Kieran Tierney's still got more legs than the Alashkert player. Wonderful fitness. And here comes Celtic. They may run out of time as the referee puts his watch to his lips, and there indeed is the end of the game. It has been commanding. Celtic in total control going into this tie with those 3 first leg goals. They added 3 all in the first half. Moussa Dembele after 7 minutes, again from the penalty spot in the 19th minute, and James Forrest just after the half-hour mark. They set up a tie next week with Rosenborg of Norway. The only blip, as we said earlier on, was that red card so early in the game to Jozo Simonovic, but all in all, a very impressive performance from Brendan Rodgers' side tonight. Yeah, so much to be satisfied about, Paul. 3 great goals, a terrific performance from them.